Okay, cool. Hi, Henna. Thank you for doing the video with me today. We're going to talk about, usually what I do, just in case you didn't know this, at the beginning of each year, it's kind of like become a tradition for me to do a video where I'll list a few brands that I've never tried or perfumes that I've never tried that are kind of on my sampling wish list, so to speak. So, and there might be various reasons which I'll go through when we talk about the brands for why I want to try them. I've got a few I want to mention here, and obviously we're doing this together, so you're gonna talk about your list as well. But just to be clear, have you the brands that we're talking about? You have not tried any from them?
No, I haven't tried any.
Okay.
But I feel like you're a little bit more meticulous than I am. So when you make a list, do you always write it down?
I do, but that's only so I remember it.
Okay, but why do you want to remember? What's going to happen if you forget?
Nothing, because I guess it's just my slight OCD.
So you write down, okay, so you make a list at the beginning of every year. How long have you been doing this for?
I was checking my catalog, my video catalog, and I think I've been doing it since 2018.
Okay, so you make a list and then you record a video and you make it public. And then what happens after that? Do you go and buy samples, or what do you do?
If I can get them, I will, and I won't do it straight away. It'll just be in the back of my mind that these brands I want to try, and I've gone through some years where I've named the brand at the beginning of the video, but I never ended up trying them, or I've lost interest in trying them for whatever reason. So it's really just kind of a list of brands that I've heard about for one reason or another, and they've kind of piqued my interest in trying them. So when I start talking about the brands here, I'll kind of give an explanation of why I want to try them. And that's really it. It's as simple and as complicated as it sounds.
Yeah. Okay. That's interesting, because I feel like in the past, I focus on one thing, one brand or one profile or one objective. And I put it out into the universe, and I just wait for it to blow at me. And it's a little bit less I don't look for samples. I just say that I want it, and then I just wait. And sometimes, so last year what I did is I said I wanted to add and try more Luten's fragrances. And then literally 3 days later, someone was selling these samples on Facebook Marketplace. And of all these ones that you can't smell at a counter, they were all the Paris exclusives. And it was this guy was selling them for $20. And I was like, oh my God, this is what I wanted. And here it is, So I had to be on Marketplace, and then I had to, DM him and then go to his house and pick them up. But it they were there for the taking, I feel like. So I feel like when you put things out there, I don't know, they just have a way of appearing in your life somehow.
You make a good point, because, and it's just reminded me, for a few of these, what's happened is I've mentioned the brands, and the people watching the video will actually comment and say, oh, this particular perfume from that brand is good, and the others won't. They'll give me their experience of the brand, and that will either make me more excited to try it or kind of temper my expectations. In some cases, people have been really kind enough to actually send me samples because they can get it where they are, and I haven't been able to. But like you're right, it's a kind of form of putting it out into the universe and seeing if it comes back. But it it's worked out pretty well. I have managed to try eventually most of the brands that I've talked about. And, to be honest, if I had to sort of guess what my success rate was in terms of ending up really liking these brands, I don't think it's been that great. Like, I'm glad that I got to try them. But in a lot of cases, I end up wondering really what the hype was that got me interested in them. Anyway, that's my spiel.
I mean, I feel the same way because even with those Serge Lutens samples, I think I got 5 and I liked 1.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
But that's okay.
But, you got to try them and you know for yourself, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, what about if I kick this off and talk about the first brand that I want to try in 2024, because it is a new year, and Happy New Year, by the way.
Yeah.
But this brand, I do actually have samples of, except I have not tried them yet. And I only got these very, very, I probably got them on the 30th of December. They came in the mail. And the brand, I'll show you here, but I'll put a graphic on the screen. It's Pente Perfume. And this is a brand that, I only know from Instagram. And what happened was that the brand owner reached out to me on Instagram and asked me if I'd be interested in trying them. And for, if he was offering samples, I was more than happy to accept them. And the reason I'm interested in trying these is because I have seen several posts of people that I follow talk about these perfumes, and the reviews seemed really positive. And I should mention that all the brands I'm going to talk about are indie perfumes, so they're very small brands, or relatively small brands. I'm not going to be talking about. Sometimes I do talk about bigger brands, but in this video, all of mine are going to be indie, smallish perfume brands. So Pente, I've got samples of Iris Doux, which is one that I know people have liked. The other one's called Medusa. There's Vespertine, and the other one is Eden. I think it's pronounced Eaden. So I'll be testing these probably. I'll start wearing them sometime in the next week or so, and see what the fuss is about. Hopefully, I find something I really like. Have you heard of them?
Yeah, I heard of the Iris one, Iris Doux, and someone said that it was like the best warm iris that they've smelled. And they didn't have a bottle or anything. They just smelled it, at someone's house or something like that. And they said it was so, so good. So that's interesting. I really want to smell those.
Okay. Well, I might try that one first, because as you know, I don't dislike iris, but I find it really difficult to find an iris perfume that I can really, really love wearing. So I'll try that one first and see how I feel about it.
And they're from Spain, right?
Yes, they're from Spain. Yeah. So the brands that I'm going to mention are kind of from all different corners of the world, I think. There's a few from Europe, but they're all from different places. So, yeah, it's a good little diverse lineup I've got here.
Yeah. And they're like super small and super new.
Yeah.
And yeah.
There's four perfumes that I think that they have in the line. So, yeah, those ones that I mentioned.
It's exciting. I want to try Born to Stand Out. Have you heard of them?
I've only heard of them because they're on the brand list for Exance.
Yeah, and they're kind of they're from Japan. Yeah. And I feel like a lot of them are gourmands, which I don't always like. And the names are really weird and interesting. And I don't know. I am intrigued because their packaging is quite eye-catching. It's like a white bottle with red writing on it. And there's not that much more information. But yeah.
I think, but like this kind of does remind you how important, especially before you smell something, how important for the brand image to try and get your attention is. Like obviously something like that attracted you to that brand, and then you read a bit more about it. You go onto the website. You know, like I always love going onto the website, and the first thing I click is the about link on the menu, and just try and find out a little bit more about them. And so that's interesting. Yeah, cool. Well, I think we're obviously that's going to be on your short list to try when you're at Exons.
Yeah, we'll see. Hopefully. I feel like some of these, I feel like they might get really busy. Like, I think they're attracting a lot of interest and a lot of attention. Okay. I would want to smell them just to see like how good the juice is, or is it just that a lot of money is going into the visual? Okay. So, yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
My next one is a brand that's from Greece, and I think you probably have seen several posts about this brand on Instagram because we follow a lot of the same people. This brand that I'm very interested in trying is Angelos Creations. That's a small indie brand from Greece. And I hope to get some samples while I am over in Milan, but they're not going to be one of the brands exhibited there. So
okay.
Hopefully someone's going to hook me up with some samples while I'm there. But like there's a few people that either have similar tastes or a taste in perfumes that I kind of tend to trust when they talk about something being really good, and I've heard and seen nothing but good things about this brand. There's no particular perfume in the line that I want to try. I'm just curious to see what all the excitement is about, basically. And I have had some messages with the brand owner, Angelos, and the perfumer, and he also seems like a really good person, which is like when you're dealing with indie perfume brands and you don't know much about the perfume, but if you have any interactions with the people behind it, that's kind of pretty an important thing to me, at least. Like you might not end up liking the perfume, but you can like what they're about, really.
You can appreciate the point of view.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think it's important for perfumers to or brand owners to put their faces on their pages, their social media. I think it reminds people that there's a human being behind what they're buying and what they're trying, and lots of hard work and love goes into that, and that's important, I think, for people to remember, because otherwise it's just, what's the difference between that and going to a department store and buying something?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I like it when brands do that. My second one is brand No More, which you actually told me about this brand, and then when I looked into it, Bertrand Duchefort is the perfumer behind the perfumes.
Well, we can both talk about this because that was going to be my next one as well.
Yeah, and I love his work, so I'm really interested in smelling all those perfumes. That's definitely going to be, I think, maybe first on my list.
Yeah, probably the same for me too, because I just before we started recording this video, I was having a look at the website. So this is started by a guy. It's based in Milan, in Italy, and the brand. So the brand owner is not Bertrand Duchefort, but Bertrand Duchefort has done all the perfumes for them. So they've obviously collaborated on this line, and I also love that perfumer. Like I've got more Bertrand Duchefort perfumes than probably anyone else in my bottle collection. So I love what he does, and obviously I can't love everything he might have done. I haven't tried everything he might have done, but I'm very interested to see what he's done here, working with an smaller independent brand. I really like, I kind of like the design of the bottles as well. I'll put a few up on the screen as well. So this is a brand where like I would want to try every single thing, because I'm likely to find something I really, really like.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. Like, we want to find things that we really like, right?
Yeah.
Like, yeah. And be excited. Be excited about something new. That was me. So now it's your turn.
Yeah, it was you. So I was gonna mention brand No More as well.
Yeah.
There is a brand that is also going to be at Exante, which got my interest, and we talked about this before. Like I kind of nerded out about making a short list of brands to try, and I sort of did a lot of looking at Perfume and base notes and all of that kind of thing. And there's a brand called I hope I'm pronouncing it right, called Toba, Tobba, Toba. So reading up a bit more about this brand, for starters, like it's got very good sort of general ratings on those databases, like on Perfume or Fragrantica. It's an independent perfume brand based in Hong Kong, and the owner, perfumer, his name's Jasper Lee. His background is art, so he's a painter. So he comes to the perfume that he makes with a very sort of, well, I guess like transposing it from that visual medium and putting that way of working into his perfume. So again, have no idea what they're going to smell like, but just that whole background, that information, the branding, really has me very interested to try them. And the fact that what the little reviews and feedback that is on the internet is all pretty positive.
My next one. Do you know what I really want to try this year? This is not it is a niche brand, but it's not an indie brand, I don't think.
Yeah.
I want to try more Diaz and Durga perfumes.
Uh-huh.
And we can't get them anywhere here. Like,
not even in Canada.
Place. Yeah, no, I don't know. I think there's one place that might have them in Montreal, but nowhere close to where I am. So there's really like no place to smell them, and they're getting so much hype, especially the pistachio one that people really liked. So I want to smell them this year. This is going to be the year that I get my nose on them.
I have been lucky enough to, there is one place here that sells Diaz and Durga, and I haven't smelled. Well, I've deliberately gone to smell 3 of them based on other people's recommendations, and I've actually liked all 3 that I've smelled. The only thing that kind of puts me off is that their pricing's a little bit high, and it just kind of makes me more tentative to think I want to buy a bottle. But but I haven't properly tested any of these. These have all been sort of, brief smell on a blotter, or I've sprayed some on my skin. So I really like, what's the fig one? Debasa. That's a really good fig perfume. I really liked Bowmakers, which is kind of like a very woody, it reminded me of Tom Ford Oud Wood, but sort of, better than what Tom Ford's version is now. And I did smell pistachio a couple of weeks ago, and I was surprised by how much I actually liked it, because I'm not a big gourmand freak, but I do love, I love pistachio ice cream, and it just had that very nice nostalgic smell about it. So definitely you should try them. And yeah, if you see them being sold somewhere, when if you can't try them in Canada, you hopefully can find them. I don't know what their distribution's like in Europe.
I mean, there might be a big department store in Milan that might have them.
Yeah. So DS and Durga, good one. I have a couple more that I'm gonna talk about. I think I thought I had 5, but I actually remembered one more.
Okay.
This brand that I'm going to mention now, it's only been in the last couple of days that I've found out about them, and they're called Voyage Imager, and the founders of this brand are actually Camille Goutal, who is Annick Goutal's daughter, and Isabelle Doyen, who is the perfumer that's done a couple of Annick Goutal perfumes, as well as other perfumes. She did Ombre Fetiche for Goutal, and they've sort of started their own brand, Voyage Imager, and I would like to try them, although my brief sort of research about them suggests that they're only available in the EU. So I'm going to see if I can find them anywhere when I'm over in Italy. But just because of that whole Annick Goutal background, where they've come from, and the fact that they have that, and Isabelle Doyen, has made some really good perfumes, and it just got me interested to try them. And the other thing is that, as opposed to a lot of these other brands, I haven't heard a lot about them. Like, no one's kind of hyped them up or talked about them. And it could just be that, maybe they don't do the whole PR sending stuff out to people, and so that it's just word of mouth. But I'll see for myself when I get to smell them.
So what's the brand called again?
Voyage Imager.
Oh, okay, nice.
Yeah,
that is really interesting, and no one's talking about them. No one's really hyping them up. Okay, cool. My next one is Bougie Bougie.
Yes,
and I know you're a big fan of theirs. I'm a big fan of Pia, the perfumer. I just, only because I've interacted with her on Instagram, and she seems like a nice, lovely, normal person.
Yeah.
And she's made some really great, perfumes that people love. So that's cool. And then her partner in the venture is Nick Gilbert.
Yeah.
And I follow him on Twitter, and he drops little crumbs of information because he has worked in the industry for so long. And did you know that he was part of the team that made Helfetti, creatively, not that he's a perfumer, but the concept and the marketing and all of that. So I feel like these two people have so much experience and knowledge between them. And that is what's intriguing me and making me want to smell Bougie Bougie. So,
I had the pleasure of meeting them at Exons last time. It was the first time I'd met them, and I like message peer occasionally as well. And you just could tell that they've obviously known each other a long time, and they seem to have really good chemistry together, and they obviously work really well. But I am excited for you to smell the perfumes, and they're going to be they'll have a stand at Exons as well, and you can meet them there. They're really lovely people.
Yeah.
So yeah. That's good. I'm glad you're going to get to smell them. I have one more brand, and this is a little bit unusual because they're very brand new, and I only know about them because they started following me on Instagram, and usually when like a small perfume brand follows me on Instagram, I kind of check it out and follow back usually. And just as I like to see, the origins of a brand, and if I like what they're about, then that's even better. So this brand is called Dictive Studio, and as far as I can tell, it's a one person operation. I think they're based in the UK at the moment, and they only have the one perfume out right now. And strangely enough for me, it from the notes, it looks like it's a gourmand perfume, but the notes really got my attention. So the perfume is called Pop Culture. I'm actually gonna bring it up on here and see if I can read out the notes, and I'll obviously put them up on the screen. So, have you heard of this brand? Like, have you seen them on YouTube at all?
No.
I'll send you the link after we're finished recording. But so this perfume is called Pop Culture, and the notes, the key notes are orange, cola, and I'm always on the lookout for a good cola perfume, which I haven't found.
Sounds good.
Yeah, orange, cola, cinnamon. Then there's a dark ambers accords, and one of the keynotes that they've listed here is mixtapes. I'm going to read the blurb if that's all right. So. This fragrance was created with pop culture in mind: sweet, sticky, light, comforting, entertaining, and yet somehow cutting deep. Sweet orange and blood orange essential oils give it the right punk rock energy. A big tall glass of cola for all the movie stars. Cinnamon leaf stands in for post-punk's raucous wisdom. Dark resins for the everyday plastic pop items that help create memories and make memories last forever. The mixtapes your friends and lovers made for you. A carefully curated record collection. The Polaroids of all the silly and special moments together. I'm just like a sucker for a good blurb. Totally. So that made me want to smell it.
That's a really good blurb, though. That's a great blurb.
Yeah. So hopefully, I did actually reach out to them and to see if they would send samples to Australia. So I'm waiting to hear back. But otherwise, this one might be one I have to wait for. But it just got me really interested. Yeah.
Where are they from?
They're based in the UK, I believe.
Cool. Okay. Nice.
Yeah.
Was that your last one?
That was my last one. Did you have any more?
I have one last one.
Okay.
Have you heard of Steve Marton perfumes?
Yes, I have, only because I know I walked past that stand at Exons last time, and I didn't stop to smell anything while I was there. But our friend Alex, I know, has talked about them. He said there's some there that are pretty good, but I for whatever reason didn't stop there. Maybe every time I walked past, it was just busy, and probably for good reason.
I don't know. So I've been following them for 3 years, I think, or 2 years, since 2021, and they haven't really launched they're like you can't buy them yet, I don't think. But all the perfumes are named after rivers, like famous rivers. So like there's a river that's from India, there's a river from, Egypt, there's one from, I don't know, other places. And so the perfumes are based on something mythical, magical about the river. Like I know the one that's from India, it's called the Yamanushka, and that's like a rose perfume, which is fitting because they float roses on this river, and it's the scent of that water and the rose and the people and everything there. So I think that the concept is really cool.
Yeah.
I'm a sucker for anything that's supposed to mimic that scent from India. So I like that particular perfume. The bottles are beautiful. They're like tall and they've got like a metal plate on them that's embossed with something from that area. And really, like, it seems quite luxurious, but they just haven't launched yet. You can't buy them yet, I don't think. And when I went on the Canadian website or the English website, you could download a PDF that had all the scents, but that was it. There was no real website. It was a PDF. So I just am intrigued and I like the concept. So yeah, and they're going to be at Exxon. So I want to smell those when they're there. Yeah.
Well, this has only made me even more excited to go there. And obviously, like there are a lot of perfume brands that pop up every year. It seems like more and more each year. But at least the good thing is that you can still get excited about trying something new, which is good. I am going to be leaving links to all the websites for the brands that we mentioned in the description. A link to your channel as well, Henna, so everyone should go and follow you. And I want to thank you for doing this video with me, and I wish you a great year of perfume sampling, especially all the ones that you'll want to try.
That I put out into the universe, and now I'm just going to sit and wait and see what happens.
We will manifest the samples.
Yeah, I mean, they'll show up. We just have to wait for them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Great.
Well, thanks for having me. This was fun.
My pleasure. Thanks for watching, everyone, and we'll see you soon. Bye.
Yep. Bye-bye.